Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 17 preview between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Bucs. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to get pressure on Drew Brees. That's first and foremost when you play the New Orleans Saints. And this week I'm going to show you how they can get this done by getting creative with their pressure packages. I'm going to show you what we have here. We have the strong side defensive tackle in a flex position. And we're tilting the defensive tackle on the weak side. And this is a strong sky look. We have the strong safety in the alley on the strong side. So pre-snap is going to look like we're sending an overload blitz from the cornerback. So he's going to, as the cadence starts to wind down, he's going to creep toward the line of scrimmage, and at the snap of the ball, his job is to drop back in his out responsibility. So he has out responsibility. You see of the linebacker over the tight end, his job is to take the curl to out responsibility. So there you go. You have curl to out, and you have the out responsibility on this side. We have the strong safety that's in the alley dropping back in a deep third. So it's cover three. We're going to have the free safety work over to the middle of the field, taking a deep third. Cornerback on the weak side, he has his deep third. Now what we're going to do to get creative up front to try to generate pressure, we have the tilted defensive tackle. His job is to cross face of the center, boom, and attack this strong side A gap. We're going to bring the weak side, the strong side defensive tackle that's in a flex technique. His job is to come all the way around and get pressure on the outside because we're crashing down this defensive end here. His job is to come around, get pressure here, just trying to confuse this offensive line. It confused the blocking assignments, and we know this is a split back set. We know the Saints will run split back. This is for instructional purposes for the defense. We have the defensive end on the strong side going straight through, getting pressure contained defense as well, and we're sending the linebacker here, and we're dropping back here. So you see what we have: 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in underneath coverage, and we have 3 guys deep, your classic cover 3, but you're stunting up front. You have a flex defensive tackle, you have a tilted defensive tackle, and you're getting pressure with those defensive ends, one crashing inside, one playing contained. So I think if the Saints can, if the Bucs can get creative up front, they can get pressure on Drew Brees, which could now ultimately result into a turnover. The New Orleans Saints can have some success this week versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers running the weak side toss or trying to get quick hitters in a running game. I think if they run weak side, they could have a lot of success. And I'm going to show you how they can utilize Darren Sproles to get this done. We're going to show you right here a spread set. We have the tight end on the strong side trying to hold this strong safety here. And what we're going to do, we're going to put the wide receiver in motion to try to crack on this linebacker. So we're going to bring him in a short motion, and at the snap of the ball, he's running, blocking that outside linebacker right here. We're going to have the wide receiver, probably Marcus Colston, try to take out this defensive end, and we're going to lead this offensive tackle around to try to kick out this cornerback. Why? Because everyone else is taking care of big on big blocking, working up, get that linebacker here, getting him blocked, working up to try to get this strong safety, and you having Darren Sproles on a quick toss, following the weak side tackle, leading him on the outside, trying to get this cornerback blocked. So I think if they run a quick trap to the weak side, kicking, blocking down on the linebacker, blocking down on the defensive end with wide receivers, I think the New Orleans Saints are going to have a lot of success versus Tampa Bay, trying to get that outside, trying to get the perimeter in the running game with Darren Sproles. I think that's how they can generate opportunities for themselves in the passing game without being predictable by formation. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For Tampa Bay, you want to follow the fullback on defense. Here's a team in New Orleans that doesn't run a lot of split zone where they have the fullback going one way and the tailback going the opposite. Wherever the fullback is going, that's where the play is headed. So you want to follow the fullback, blow him up in the backfield, and make plays in the running game. And you don't have to block the blitzing backer. A lot of times teams want to sacrifice a receiving option by keeping it back in the backfield to max protect. Leak him out in the backfield, maybe utilize your screen game, and that's just another way you can neutralize that pressure and also get the backs involved in the passing game. And this goes without saying, you have to get off the field on third downs. You can't allow the Saints to sustain drives, otherwise it's going to be a long day in the Superdome. And for the Saints in this ballgame, the attempts are greater than the yards in the running game. A lot of times the Saints want to run play action pass without running the football, so you're not fooling anyone. Just have the attempts there in place so that way the defense has to respect the run, and that way you can still run your play action pass with effectiveness. And you want to utilize more double tight end sets that's getting both Jimmy Graham and also Benjamin Watson on the field at the same time. That's the two top receiving options at the tight end position. It also takes the fullback off the field, which I think slows down this offense. So you want to put more valuable options out there. And I believe Watson and Graham with two wide receivers and one back in the backfield is going to be beneficial this week versus Tampa Bay. One, it allows you to run an inside zone, your outside zone, your stretch plays. And it also allows you to take advantage of the matchups between Watson, Graham, and those Tampa Bay Buccaneer linebackers. So I would utilize more double tight end sets this week versus Tampa Bay. And you have to beat the guards to the spot. The Bucs utilize their guards on the move a lot. They run a lot of power, a lot of counter, and beating those guards to the spot helps you bottle up the running game and make plays at or behind the line of scrimmage. Now here are some in-game adjustments that you want to watch for in this ball game for Tampa Bay. How they attack Roman Harper in the pass game. Without Kenny Vaccaro in the lineup, you're going to see a lot of Roman Harper on the field defensively, and that's a guy that struggles in pass coverage. So you want to see how the Bucs attack him in the passing game. And you also want to keep an eye on how well they play above the rim with Vincent Jackson, who's 6'5", 230 pounds. That's an instant matchup nightmare for that Saints secondary, and he's the guy that has given the Saints problems over the years. So I'm pretty sure they're going to try to get him involved early and often in the passing game. And when and where the gadget play will occur. Will it occur on offense or will it occur on special teams? The Buccaneers in Week 17 have a unique opportunity to knock their division rival, the New Orleans Saints, out of the playoffs with the victory. So you know they're going to go extra aggressive to try to accomplish this goal. And for the Saints in this ball game, you want to keep an eye on the left tackle position into Ron Armstead and what the Saints do to help him out if he's struggling. He had a bad game last week versus Carolina. He can't have a repeat performance versus Tampa Bay. And so you want to keep an eye on what the Saints do to help him out, whether or not they utilize a tight end, a fullback, or even a tailback to help chip that defensive end, because pass protection will be key in order for the Saints to have any type of success versus Tampa Bay. And you also want to watch defensive coordinator Rob Ryan and what different looks he shows defensively, because remember, the second time around you're playing the same opponent. It's not about the matchups, it's about what adjustments have you made. And they played Tampa Bay in Week 1, and he did a great job in getting that Bucs offense off the field. What different looks will he show this time around will be key. You also want to keep an eye on Sean Payton's patience. If he gets down early to Tampa Bay, will he go over aggressive and abandon the running game, or how long will he stick with the running game? His patience could be the reason why the Saints win or lose this ball game. The X factor for Tampa Bay will be defensive end Adrian Claiborne, who's going up against a rookie left tackle in Teron Armstead. If he can be a constant nuisance throughout the course of this ball game, the Bucs defense can have success and the Saints offense will sputter throughout. And the X factor for the Saints will be Sean Payton's play calling. How balanced of a game can he call versus Tampa Bay? If the running game is not working, how committed can he be to stick with it? That way he can open up his play action pass game. Or will he go over aggressive and try to put the ball in Drew Brees' hands and throw the football 35, 40 times this game? He has to call a well-balanced game if the Saints are trying to have any type of success or any hopes of moving on to the playoffs. I like the Saints in this ball game. I believe what you're going to see is a well-balanced offensive approach. And on the defensive side of the ball, they have been consistent all season long in getting teams off the field. And I think they'll do a great job versus Bobby Rainey in their running attack and making the Bucs one-dimensional on offense. So I see the Saints winning this one at home. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Saint fan forums and Buccaneer fan forums for always showing football game plan support.